Shabbat shalom, everybody. You're stuck with me today. As Rabbi Michel said, I want you to have this handout next to you all the time because I'm going to be interspersing stories about my journey with these songs that are very meaningful. And for the first song that I want to sing, I want to do this in honor of Yaron Liszczynski and Sarah Lynn Milligram, the two Israeli embassy employees that were shot and killed on Wednesday night as they left the Capital Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. A new day will rise. And even if you say goodbye, you'll never go away. You are the rainbow in my sky, my colors in the gray, my only wish upon a star, sunshine in the day, the only song that my piano ever plays. And even if you say goodbye, you'll always be around to lift me up and take me high. Keep my feet too close to the ground. Are you proud of me tonight? Dreams are coming true. I chose the line, nothing to lose if I lose you. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay, even if you say goodbye. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay, even if you say goodbye. This song was sung by Yuval Rafael last week, the singer that represented Israel in the Eurovision Song Contest. She got second place after winning the popular vote. Go and figure. Popular vote to Israel from the European countries. Rafael, who is 24, was among the Nova Festival attendees who attempted to flee the carnage as rockets were fired from Gaza into Israel and Hamas gunmen began shooting at revelers. She was one of just 11 survivors from a group of 50 who took refuge in a concrete bomb shelter on the side of the road. She hid under the pile of dead bodies for 8 hours until she and the other survivors were rescued. Her singing career only started after the attack, when she took part in the TV talent show called Kochav Haba, the next star, which she eventually won. And meaningful enough, she sang this song in Basel, Switzerland, where the first Zionist Congress took place in 1897. Most remarkable, when she finished, she said, "Thank you, Europe. Am Israel Chai." And that is what I experienced in Israel for 2 weeks after my journey in March of the Living. Am Israel Chai. So what did I do? After March of the Living finished, and most of you were trying to come back, I stayed first in Tel Aviv for 4 days, and then I joined a group of 25 Argentinian cantors from Boston, from DC, Miami, Panama, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, and 2 people who made part of a crew for a movie. And we went on a trip organized by Taglit, by Birthright, in combination with the Association of Chazanim, to be able to do volunteer work and musical events in Israel. And Am Israel Chai is what I experienced in Israel. The resilience, the strength, the ability to move on. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. So for my friends of the March of the Living, you know that my only mission in Israel while I was there was to eat kosher hamburgers. And I succeed every single day. I was so happy with that. And during my 3.5-week trip, I only had one concern, which is, would my wife change the locks of my house when I come back? Thank you, Lorena. Thank you, my wife, for not doing that. But also, thank you so much for giving me the strength, because as many of you experience, traveling to Israel these days, it's not easy. I had my fears, I had my doubts, and my wife was able to convince me to go. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I experienced also my first siren while I was walking in Tel Aviv, and beautifully, everybody who has a store, they open the doors and they say, come. So I found myself in a room with about 15 other people who I never met, all of them checking in the phone to see when they could get out. And as I go out, I realized, where am I? In a record store, vinyl store. So I decided to stay for 45 minutes. I enjoyed my stay over there. And so we had a couple of little things. First of all, that was the rocket that was fired from the Houthis that actually landed at Ben Gurion Airport. And because of that, many airlines started to cancel their flights. So we were about 10 or 15 of us, but then another 10 or 15 were stranded in Spain. They couldn't get to Israel. So we ended up doing a couple of volunteer work, just 10 of us. And our first stop was at a place called Hamal, Israel. And Hamal, it's an acronym for Het Mem Lamed, which means Cheder Milchama, which translates to War Room, a commander center. And we were there doing some volunteer work. A couple of stories that are remarkable. We were welcomed by a man who we thought was maybe 40 years old. He told us he is 25. And he talked to us about all the stuff, and then he pulled his phone and he shows us some videos telling us that he belongs to a special unit called Dub Zaban, that they go into Gaza and they speak Arabic. And it was exactly like, when you see in Fauda, in the movies, and he was part of that. And we went inside, and I was chopping vegetables for 3 hours. And I told everybody, you are not allowed to make a movie of this, because if my wife sees that, I'm done. Divorce papers right away. I don't cook anything in my house. So, my friends, so in the future, if you see the videos, you don't see me there. I was there. I promised you. I was there. And it was really remarkable, because all my life, I felt like, each one of us do whatever we can to help people. My way of offering help has been always through music, through singing. And to be able to do something with my own hands, not for the first time, but then many more times during the trip, was really, really meaningful and something different for me, something that really fulfilled my heart. So we did so many wonderful things. And then when everybody arrived, 2 things. They put us in a hotel called the Jerusalem Gate Hotel. And the hotel is full of Orthodox people. And I'm there, and I'm doing FaceTime with my wife. Sorry, Lorena, you are part of this talk today all the time. And I said, don't look at me, look behind me. And it was exactly like Shtizel, these young couples dating, like a blind date, individual tables of young men and women trying to find their beloved ones. So it was so beautiful. As we hop into the train to go to the hotel, we started singing songs. 20 of us singing songs, and I sent the video to some of you. It was really meaningful, and people were grateful. Thank you for doing that. Who are you? Where do you come from? Who are these, strange people singing Israeli songs in Israel? And it was really beautiful. Then one of the most meaningful experiences that we had was that we went to Rabbi Robinson's part of the hotel, Robinson's Arch, and 25 cantors, we led Shacharit. It was such a beautiful and meaningful thing. We are looking at the hotel and we are offering our prayers. the most remarkable prayer experience in my life. And yes, that was, sorry to tell you, Michelle, but that is called Ezrat Israel. You know, it's not called, Robinson's Ark. But anyways, and so I want to sing a next song that is called Tefillah, Shmorna Aleinu, and I will tell you why I'm singing this. הוא היושב לו שם במרומים, הוא הרופא כל חולים, הוא הנותן רוב שמחה לילדים, הוא העושה משפטים, הוא השמיים והוא היחיד, הוא הגדול הנורא, הוא השומר עלינו מצרה. אלוה שמור עלינו כמו ילדים, שמור בארץ הזאת, תן לנו אור ושמחה נעורים, תן לנו כוח עוד ועוד, תן לנו לנו ילדים, שמור בארץ הזאת, תן לנו אור ושמחה נעורים, תן לנו גם לאכול. God, watch over us, please, like children. Watch, please, and don't leave. Protect us. We went the next day to Tel HaShomer Hospital. That is the Chaim Sheva Medical Center in Tel HaShomer, outside Tel Aviv. And in today's Haftarah, we were not able to get there, but the Haftarah ends with the phrase, Refaenu Adonai berafeh Oshienu ve'ivashea ki tehilateinu ata. Heal me, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved. For you are my hope. These are the words of Jeremiah chapter 17. And in Tel HaShomer, because we were so many of us, we divided in 3 groups, and each one of us in the group had a guitar and another musical instruments, and then we started visiting the soldiers who are sick, who lost a leg, who lost an arm, who are with difficulty of walking, and we were able to sing these songs. And one thing is for me to sing with my colleagues here, Refaenu Adonai ben Rafeh, or Misheberach for the soldiers, or Acheinu for the hostages, but to be able to do it for them, to them, remarkable. It's you feel humble there, and it was quite an unbelievable experience. And we were walking around singing this beautiful song, Shmorna Aleinu Kemo Yeladim. Among other things that we did, we had a dinner with Merkaz, which is the political party of the Masorti movement in Israel. We met with the women of the wall, and then we did some volunteer outside Tel Aviv in a place where are the lemon trees and orange trees, and we had to help because, before there were Palestinian workers who will help. Now that's no longer the case. And trust me, my squats hurt like crazy because I had to, lean down to cut some little trees for the dripping system to be able to function well. But there are countless of trees there. And it was amazing because we were singing all the time. We were offering not only work with our hands, but also work with our voices. We went to the hardest part of the trip, which was this Sderot Nova. And in Sderot, we learned about the shootings in the police station, and we learned about this beautiful phrase that is inscribed everywhere, which is Atem Shel Israel. And then, are you from Israel? But this is the language, for those who know Hebrew, we don't say Atem Shel Israel. That's the language of a 5 or 6 year old. And that was the question of Romi, whose parents were killed in front of her in the car's front seat while she sat in the back with her baby sister. And that will stay with us forever. She asked Atem from Israel to the soldiers who were coming to rescue them. And while we were there, in honor of the kids, we sang the third song. Uf gozar חתוך את השמיים, טוס לך, שבא לך, רק אל תשכח, יש נשר בשמיים, גור לך, גור לך. We visit the Nova sites, and then we ended up the day with two activities. A Beersheba Synagogue Masorti concert we did for the people there. And then there is a lot of immigrants in that area from Chile, and they hosted us for dinner. And you cannot go wrong with 25 cantors because of the energy, but also how much in trouble they can get, because of their personality. Imagine 25 with my sense of humor. Unbelievable. So, I learned a couple of things which are marvelous. When you move from one country to the other, after a while, you end up being neither from one nor from the other. You are somewhere in the limbo somewhere. So after a strong and long day of working and doing songs, 11 p.m., I wanted to go to bed. My Argentinian colleagues, let's go out. And they will go out until 3 in the morning to have drinks and stuff, walking on the beach in Tel Aviv as if there is no tomorrow. So while we were doing the dinner in the Chilean Association of Beersheba, they told us that the pictures on the wall was part of a contest where all the members of the synagogue took beautiful pictures of Chile and decided to frame them. And there was one that was the winner. So proudly they announced that that was the winner. And they were so proud showing that picture. Guess what happened later? Argentinian cantors, not me, started dancing and jumping around with Am Israel Chai. Boom, they knock the picture. The picture goes down and destroys the frame, and the picture gets all wet because there was some water or ice there. Yes, that was my reaction. I don't belong to this trip, I'm not part by it. I speak English very well, no Spanish, no español, por favor. So I decided quietly to leave, and to congratulate the people and thanking them for the help. So let's go to the next page and let's sing Oda Avinu Chai. Oda Avinu Chai, Oda Avinu Chai, Oda Avinu, Oda Avinu, Oda Avinu Chai, Oda Avinu Chai, Oda Avinu Chai, Oda Avinu, Oda Avinu, Oda Avinu Chai. Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel 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 Chai. Two more stories to conclude my talk, because then the cantor has to do Musaf today. So thank you, rabbis, for the place. And the first one was Kikar Hatufim, that's the hostage square. We were scheduled to do a concert there for everybody who was there, and that happens to be in the same afternoon that Idan Alexander was rescued, so we had to cancel because all the TV shows, TV programs were there with the machinery, and on the screens there were only the images of him getting out. But we were able to find a place to do songs, and before that, they took us to a room they told us that a guest speaker will come to talk to us. And this guest speaker was Danny Miran. Danny Miran is the father of the kidnapped Omri Miran, who has been in Gaza since October 7. And we didn't know what to do. He said, I'm here, I want to tell the story of my son and what happened on October 7, and please ask me any kind of questions you have. And we did, and if you've seen him in the pictures, he told us he has a very long beard, he's bald, and he has super long beard. He said that because his son was kidnapped, he knew that Omri won't be able to shave. So he promised to keep his beard until Omri was going to be rescued. It happened to be that the father saw Omri in a video later where he had no beard. So Omri was able to, Danny the father, was able not only to tell the story about his kidnapped son, but also to infuse humor. And it was really remarkable what, think for a minute, what this man and his family has been going through for the last year and 7 or 8 months, I don't know, I remember exactly. And that was quite powerful. Next song is Ki Ishmera Shabbat, and let's sing it. Ki Ishmera Shabbat, Ishmereini. Ki Ishmera Shabbat, Ishmereini. Oti leol meyat, beino beini. Oti leol meyat, beino beini. Because I guard the Sabbath, God guards me. As we were leaving Israel at 3 in the morning, I was able to get out with another group of cantors, and a small minivan came to pick us up, to take us to the airport. And the driver was a young man with a kippah. And we started talking, and so none of my friends speak English very well, like me. Amazing. But anyways, so we were able to talk in Hebrew all the time, so I brushed up my Hebrew amazingly. And by the end of the trip, I could understand maybe 5% now. So he told us the story that he is a member of Kibbutz Sa'ad. Kibbutz Sa'ad is a religious kibbutz established in 1947 that is in between the cities of Sderot and Netivot. And he was the one who started singing Ki Eshmera Shabbat to us. Why? Because he said that in October 7, they were all celebrating Simchat Torah, and on Shabbat, they cut off the electricity. So when the Palestinian, the Hamas terrorists came to attack, they couldn't open the gate. There was no way that they could open the gate, and the security guards of the kibbutz started shooting at the Hamas terrorists, and they were able to repel them. Not even one person died in the kibbutz. And he said, we respected Shabbat, and God was with us. We had no electricity, they couldn't get in. And it was remarkable to hear that story to begin with, but also at the end of the trip, at the end of the ride, he was thanking us. It's amazing, he said to us, it's amazing you guys are here in time of war, nobody comes, there are no tourism, and you come to visit us, not only to visit, to bring music, but to do volunteer work. And my last story, which is the most powerful one, I want to start by singing the last song, and it's Tamid Oev Iti. And let's get it together. השם הוא אהבתו והוא תמיד מתפאר בי, רואה בי רק תנודות הטובות. רואה שאני רוצה להיות טוב רק לא יוצא לי, וחסרות לי כולה כמה תפילות. השם הוא גמרה את הרצון שהיה לי, שניסיתי לא אמרתי נואש. רואה בביזיון שלי במה שהרגשתי, אין התחלתי כל פעם שוב מחדש. או השם יתברך, תמיד אוהב אותי, ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. השם יתברך, תמיד אוהב אותי, ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. ויהיה לי אין אומר טוב, ועד יותר 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 תמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. This song was sung to us by a group of 180 chayalim, 180 soldiers who range, between 19 and 20, 21 years old, my son's age. And we were part of the last volunteer and perhaps the most fulfilling one. We were part of a group called Chayalim del Asado, which means in Hebrew, or in English, the barbecue soldiers. And this is a family of Argentinians who lived in Israel, and after October 7, they said, we need to do something for the soldiers. So they said, we are experts in asado, which is the barbecue style of Argentinian meat. Let's go and cook for the soldiers. So they were able to get a grant from the government. And what they do is they travel with a truck with portable barbecue grills with charcoal. They go to any location that the government tells them where the soldiers are based. They pull out like 8 of them, and they bring volunteers to cook. So I was part of one of the volunteers with the Hazanim. I learned that I could do barbecue. I didn't know that, Sorry, Lorena, again. And then we not only cooked the barbecue, but we served the Hayalim. We served the soldiers who had been in Gaza for 60 days, and they were returning. And at some point, we finished the barbecue. We started singing songs. It was like a bar mitzvah celebration or a wedding celebration, all dancing together with remarkable passion and love for each other without knowing anybody. And, as you can imagine, 25 Argentinian cantors, lots of egos around. We decided before the trip who will do something at exactly one point, not to get anybody upset. Remarkable enough, I was assigned to sing the Misheberach LaChayalim, Misheberach Lavoteinu, that night to the 180 soldiers. I get goosebumps just by telling you this. And by far the most meaningful experience of my life. So, friends, as Yuval Raphael sang Am Israel Chai at the end, I want to conclude with the words of the Psalm 29 that we recite every Friday. Adonai oz le'amo iten, Adonai yivarech et amo b'shalom. May God grant strength to all God's people, to the people of Israel, and may God bless our people with peace. Am Israel Chai.